Fans of 1,000-pound sisters have witnessed the family's evolution and growth throughout time. As of the current season, each sibling has undergone bariatric surgery and has proudly dropped significant weight as a result. They all have their own particular hardships and obstacles, though. Tammy and Amy Slatton have been the show's primary focus since season 1. Fans enjoy getting to know their siblings, but there has been an increasing concern over time. Fans believe Tammy and Amy take advantage of their older siblings. Fans of the 1,000-pound sisters believe Tammy and Amy should be more independent. When Tammy Slatton weighed over 500 pounds, she had little control over her situation. However, her siblings are now encouraging her to be more self-sufficient. But instead, Sarah and Amy continue to provoke arguments with each other and their older brothers. Amanda Halterman and Tammy aren't even communicating this season. Tammy and Amy refuse to see how much help their siblings actually provide, a Reddit user recently wrote. The most annoying aspect of this show is Tammy and Amy's refusal to realize how much their siblings do for them. I can't fathom how inconvenient it is that every time they need to leave their house, someone has to come and pick them up and bring them home. The op went on to provide concrete examples, such as Tammy's refusal to drive. Amanda Halterman also frequently uploads on TikTok, expressing how much the entire family helps Tammy and Amy. I can't see Tammy or Amy being willing to provide half the assistance their siblings provide to them without issue or complaint, they said in their response. Other viewers give their own opinions. Other viewers of 1,000-pound sisters concurred, but gave various reasons for the sisters' terrible behavior. Comments include, "They've been enabling them all along, and this is the result. Be careful how you raise your children, give them some independence, or you'll be rearing them for the rest of your life." Finally, someone is talking sense around here. I thought I was watching a different show than everyone else because everyone was suggesting Tammy should go off on her own. When Tammy said she had no place to live because of Amanda, my jaw fell. It is surreal. And if she had any self-awareness or appreciation, she would have apologized to Amanda and expressed gratitude for the roof over her head. I'd love to have a close group of siblings. Tammy/Amy don't realize how fortunate they are, as that fact compensates for so much. Do you believe Tammy and Amy take their siblings for granted? Leave your opinions in the comments. The reality TV series 1,000-Pound Sisters has captivated audiences with the journey of two sisters, Tammy and Amy Slatton, as they navigate their struggles with obesity, health, and family dynamics. While their emotional and physical challenges are central to the show's appeal, there's an underlying question that has emerged as the series has progressed. Are Tammy and Amy taking advantage of their siblings? In examining this issue, we must first understand the complex relationships between the Slatton sisters and their family. The show revolves around Tammy and Amy, who both struggle with morbid obesity. Their weight issues have led to a number of serious health problems, and the sisters' difficult relationship with food has been complicated further by trauma, personal struggles, and societal pressures. However, the dynamics within their family have raised questions not just about their health, but about how their siblings, particularly their brother Chris and Amy's husband Michael, play a role in supporting them. At the heart of the show is not just the weight loss journey, but also the emotional and financial labor that their family members contribute. While 1,000-Pound Sisters has given audiences insight into the realities of extreme obesity, it has also exposed the often difficult dynamics within the Slatton family. Are Tammy and Amy Slatton manipulating or taking advantage of the support they receive from their siblings? Or is this simply a complicated family situation where love and care are intertwined with an unhealthy dependence? The Slatton family dynamics. Before diving into the central question, it's important to understand the roles each family member plays within the series. Amy Slatton is the younger of the two sisters and has been more successful in her weight loss journey. Over the course of the series, Amy undergoes weight loss surgery, a significant milestone that gives her a new sense of independence and hope for her future. However, her journey has not been without its struggles, particularly as she tries to balance her health with family obligations. Tammy Slatton, on the other hand, has had a much more difficult time losing weight. Throughout the series, she has frequently found herself at odds with her own health goals, and her battles with food, depression, and self-sabotage are often highlighted. Tammy's struggles have been a focal point of the show, as they not only impact her physical health but also her relationships with her family. Tammy's behavior often involves turning to her family for support, which raises the issue of whether she is relying too heavily on her siblings or genuinely seeking the help she needs. Then there is Chris Combs, their brother, who plays a key role in the sisters' lives. While Chris has often been supportive of both sisters, especially Tammy, there are moments when his involvement seems to verge on enabling behavior. This brings us to the question: how far is too far when it comes to familial support? In addition to the siblings, Amy's husband Michael Halterman is another key figure in the series. Michael has been portrayed as a supportive partner to Amy, even as she undergoes her weight loss surgery and begins to make changes in her life. However, the question of whether Michael and the other family members are enabling Amy or Tammy's behavior is an ongoing theme in the series. Emotional dependence or exploitation. One of the most pressing concerns when it comes to the relationships between the Slatton sisters and their family members is the potential emotional dependence that Amy and Tammy have developed. Both sisters, particularly Tammy, seem to turn to their siblings for emotional support, and the lines between genuine care and exploitation can sometimes blur. Tammy, for example, has often expressed feelings of loneliness and frustration, particularly when it comes to her struggles with weight loss. She frequently leans on her family, especially Chris, to help her navigate difficult situations. While this is understandable in some ways, it raises the question of whether Tammy is leaning too heavily on her brother, or whether Chris is enabling her behavior by constantly rescuing her. In Season 3 of the show, for example, Tammy is seen refusing to follow through with her doctor's advice to lose weight in order to qualify for bariatric surgery. Instead of holding her accountable, Chris often steps in to help her when she falls off track. While it's clear that Chris cares deeply for his sister, his willingness to step in and assist her time and again may have inadvertently allowed Tammy to avoid facing the reality of her situation. Similarly, Amy's relationship with her husband Michael has been scrutinized for potentially enabling her behavior as well. While Michael is portrayed as a loving husband, he often seems to provide Amy with emotional and physical support, particularly when she is struggling with her weight. There are moments when Michael appears to overlook the fact that Amy is not always taking her health as seriously as she should. In these instances, the question arises: is he enabling her unhealthy habits, or is he just trying to support her in a difficult time? The idea of enabling versus supporting is a nuanced one, and it's clear that the Slatton siblings genuinely care for each other. However, the nature of their interactions, particularly when it comes to Tammy's weight struggles, can sometimes create a pattern of dependency. This dependency may lead to situations where Tammy and Amy are not taking full responsibility for their own actions, relying instead on their siblings to pick up the slack. Financial dependence. Who's footing the bill? Another aspect of this debate concerns financial dependence. The show has provided some insight into the financial dynamics of the Slatton family, with Tammy and Amy often leaning on their family for financial support. This can be seen when Amy has to rely on her brother Chris to help transport her to doctor's appointments, or when Tammy requires financial assistance to pay for medical treatments. The question of whether the sisters are taking advantage of their family members financially is complex. On one hand, Tammy and Amy are clearly in need of support, and it is natural for family members to help each other out in times of difficulty. On the other hand, there are moments in the show where the financial strain on the family becomes evident, and viewers may question whether the sisters are overstepping their boundaries. Chris, in particular, has been vocal about his frustrations with the burden placed on him by his sisters. In one memorable scene, Chris expresses his concerns about the toll that supporting Tammy financially and emotionally has taken on him. His frustration highlights the underlying issue of how far family support should go, especially when the individuals receiving the support may not be fully taking responsibility for their own lives. A pattern of self-sabotage. At the core of the issue is the repeated cycle of self-sabotage that both Tammy and Amy engage in. Tammy, in particular, seems to struggle with sticking to her weight loss goals, often making decisions that undermine her progress. This behavior not only affects her own health, but it also impacts the people around her, especially her siblings. Amy, too, has faced her own struggles with weight and health, though her journey has been more successful than Tammy's. However, even Amy's successes are marred by moments of self-doubt and inconsistency. As she faces these challenges, she often turns to her family for validation and support, rather than seeking out professional help or taking more direct action to address her issues. While it is understandable that the Slatton sisters would lean on their family during difficult times, the repeated cycle of self-sabotage and dependence can become exhausting for those around them. This raises the question of whether Tammy and Amy are truly taking responsibility for their actions, or if they are using their family members as a crutch to avoid facing the difficult work required for change. The role of tough love. One of the most difficult aspects of the Slatton sisters' journey is the role of tough love. At times, Chris and other family members seem to struggle with how best to help Tammy and Amy. There are moments when they offer stern words of advice or attempt to hold the sisters accountable for their actions, but this often leads to tension and emotional fallout. The question of whether Tammy and Amy need more tough love, or whether they simply need more support and understanding, is a challenging one. On the one hand, tough love may be necessary to help the sisters face the reality of their situation and take responsibility for their actions. On the other hand, it's clear that Tammy and Amy are struggling with deep emotional and psychological issues, and simply toughening up may not be the solution. Are Tammy and Amy taking advantage? In the end, the question of whether Tammy and Amy are taking advantage of their siblings is a complicated one. While there are certainly moments when their behavior seems to cross the line into manipulation or dependence, it is important to consider the broader context of their struggles. Both sisters are dealing with immense physical and emotional challenges, and their relationships with their family members are shaped by a deep sense of love and care. Ultimately, the dynamics within the Slatton family reflect the complex realities of caregiving, support, and personal responsibility. Tammy and Amy's reliance on their siblings may be difficult at times, but it also highlights the importance of family bonds in navigating personal challenges. Rather than seeing their actions as exploitation, it may be more accurate to view them as part of a complicated, ongoing journey where love, frustration, and support intersect.